A prime time, oi! A 20 years of prime time, oi! A winning, oi! A messaging by video, oi! Ra, 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 ra! A bringing live transmission from Pastor Baba's home, oi! Yeah! Fellow gallant prime timers, Machiavellians, I want to celebrate with you today. 20 years we are launching this World AIDS Day. I remember being a young person going for my HIV AIDS test. I was in senior 3, senior 4, and I was scared to death. I was worried that I may have done something that may have exposed me to HIV AIDS. I used to have some problems with my tongue. They call it a geographical tongue. And I'd heard that some of the symptoms of HIV AIDS was having oral thrush. So when after gotten enough courage, when I went to get the HIV AIDS test, I'm telling you, that was the hardest point of my life. The doctor looked at me. He was an Indian man over there on Entebbe Road. And he told me, you know, today I've just seen so many young people who have tested HIV AIDS. I'm like, oh gosh, this is not helping me. And in those days, you had to wait about 5 days to get your results. So I waited. Day 1, I was sweating because I knew the consequences of testing HIV AIDS positive were going to be very life-changing. And day 2, I was doing deals with God. Say, God, really, if you help me and my test is HIV, I'll never do anything bad again. God, please hear me, help me. And even if it's positive, change it, make it negative. I'm telling you, that was such a hard time. But the results came out. I went over there, and the day that I entered the office, first of all, the receptionist and the nurse, they were there in the corner. They were looking at me, and I thought they were talking about my results. You know, I was just so like petrified. Then when I sat in the chair, and the gentleman brought out the results, he took them out, envelope, unwrapped them, and he began, Mr. Semper, he had this Indian accent, Mr. Semper, your results are negative. Everything is okay. I felt like jumping. Yeah! I'm like, this is the best news. I feel like hugging everybody. Why? I had done things, stupid things that could have exposed me to HIV AIDS. You know, boyfriend, girlfriend, getting involved, not doing something you shouldn't do. And I just want to thank God. Now, I'm not saying that I am much better than others. It really was the mercy and the grace of God, okay? Because my older brother, Fred, my older sister, Florence, they were good people. They were just like me. They were my sisters and brothers. They got HIV and they passed away in 1989, 1990, in those years. So I am not saying if you have HIV, you are an evil person. I'm just saying, look, it's hard to have it, and it's better not to have it. And it's good when you don't have it. And it's really scary when you go to take the test. I mean, some people have done bad things for them. So, because God was so good to me, and after giving my life to Christ, I decided that I would dedicate my life to helping other young people, just like you, not to die from HIV/AIDS. So my wife and I, over the last 20 years, we made a decision of giving our lives to lighting these candles. Because God has called young people to succeed, to be the leaders God has called you to be. Whether it's president, I think of the guild presidents who have been. There's Rotaro, there is Adeke, there is Sarah Kajingo, but there's hundreds of students who have survived HIV/AIDS. Now, they themselves, because of prime time, we speak to them, we encourage them. They themselves have gotten married. And when they get married to an HIV/AIDS person, They are faithful. Then they have given birth to children. And so when we look today, 20 years, on average every year we've impacted 10,000 people. When you impact 10,000 people every year, in 20 years it becomes 200,000 people. Now imagine that out of 200,000, maybe 100,000 have gotten married and they have children. So that means there is 200,000 people who have gotten married and they have 4 children on average. When you add this all up, it comes to 1 million people and more whose lives have been lit like a candle. And so today on World AIDS Day, while people are talking about what have you done about HIV/AIDS, I want to celebrate that God has used my wife and I, everybody involved in Prime Time, including you, those who have come when we first started in 1999 at Prime Time at the pool, today 2019. I just want to thank God that God has been in the business of changing lives. Candles have been lit, and we want to make a big deal out of it. You know what? It's great. I don't have HIV/AIDS, and I have my children. They don't have HIV/AIDS, and guess what? We're inspiring others. There's Pastor Simon Peter with his wife Hadassah, and they have 4 children. There is Eddie Jemba. There is my good friend Mutekanga. They got 4 children. So many. And it's something to celebrate. I'm so glad that you are also one of those people whose candle has been lit. It's been like this. So I'm going to be lighting this candle over here as a symbol of showing what life looks like when you change it. My daughter is coming here to help me. Ariel, help me. Good. So that we can show what it's like to light a candle. And we often sing that song, Carry Your Candle, Run Through the Darkness, Seek Out the Hell Place, Confused. And as time goes on, more and more candles are lit, including yours. That's the one that was watching this. There's candles that are being lit today, lives that are being saved, lives that are being changed because of Prime Time. Candles are being lit. And this is you. This is your life. What candle would have gone out? God has helped us through the work of Prime Time, through the power of the gospel. The life of God has stayed. What would have been out? God has helped us to put it in. So as we go on World AIDS Day, I'm inviting you this coming 7th December. We're going to have a great mega party. We want to invite you to sit here. We're going to be mashing it up, celebrating. Musicians are going to come. And we're going to give God the glory. We're also raising funds for our student center at Makere Community Center, Chikumi. We want to invite you to come. Prime Time oil, lighting the candles oil, changing 1 million lives oil, including that. And we'll continue lighting up more lives. God bless you. God bless you so much. Hey, winning oil, I'd love to hear from you. You can get back to me on my cell phone, 772-6410-28.